The fact is, when it comes to PCOS and irregular cycle, tracking down your ovulation period is really frustrating and it's really annoying, especially for those women that are trying to conceive. So that is why I am here today to take you on the step-by-step journey on how to conceive, how to get pregnant with PCOS and also irregular cycle. So that is what this video is going to be talking about. All I need you to do is to follow each step. Don't skip any point of this video because it's going to guide you through on how to conceive with PCOS. Good day everyone and welcome back to Nurses Lecture Room YouTube channel. My name is Mercy Mary, popularly known as the Nurse with a Difference, and I make learning easy and accessible for all my viewers. Today we are going to be talking about conceiving, getting pregnant with polycystic ovary syndrome, irregular cycle as we popularly see it. I'm going to be answering those questions that have been popping on my DM. Can women with PCOS conceive? How can they track their ovulation cycle? How can they get pregnant? So this video is going to explain everything. But like I earlier said, all I want you to do is to follow this step by step. Don't skip anything. Take a paper and pen and make sure you jot them because it has helped a lot of women on my DM conceive, and I believe it is going to help you conceive if you follow this step by step. But before we go into details into this class, if you are new on our YouTube channel and these are contents you are interested in, which is your reproductive health, please click on that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out. For all my returning subscribers, this is Nurse Mercy Mary saying thank you. Let's go there. All right, welcome back. This video is going to be getting pregnant with polycystic ovary syndrome. You know, for those with a normal cycle, let's just assume a 28-day cycle. They already know that on the 14th day, they are going to be ovulating. On the 14th day, they are going to experience a change in the temperature. They are going to notice some cervical, egg yolk, discharge. They already know. So it's easy for them to track their ovulation date and get pregnant. But for women with polycystic ovary syndrome, it is not that easy. Yes, because their cycle could be as long as 50 days, 60 days, and also 90 days. And their ovulation could be as long as 48 days, 40 days, and even 17 days. You can see it's different. As a woman trying to conceive with PCOS, sometimes they can really get frustrated and annoyed with the whole process. But if you really want to conceive, I would advise you to try this fertility awareness method, and you have to be patient with it. See, at the very beginning, it might seem difficult, but as time goes on, you get used to the whole process and it's going to help you. So I'm going to be sharing with you 7 points you should put at the back of your mind when trying to conceive with PCOS. Okay, so the first one we're going to be talking about, we're going to be starting with the simple points. We're going to be starting with the easier one. And the first one I want to share with you is be around your spouse. What do I mean by that when I say be around your spouse? You see, some women, they are trying to conceive, they have PCOS, they have irregular cycle, but their spouse are far away from them. That might be difficult because when the spouse is in, they might not see this egg yolk, they might not see this discharge, they might not even be in their ovulation period during that period. So if you are trying to conceive in order of priority and you feel the child is my priority now, you and your partner should always be together. It's not a matter of today he's here, next year he's this, or you are in Edo State, your partner is in Lagos State, you are in Nigeria, your partner is in United States. So things like this might make it difficult for you to conceive. So that is why staying around your partner is very important when trying to conceive with PCOS. The second, which is the most important thing, is love making. Yes, and most times for love making to be interesting, you have to be sexually attracted to your partner. So you have to make sure that both parties are sexually attracted to each other. In case you notice the signs I'm going to be telling you in this video, you'll be able to have sex easily without, oh, I'm in the mood or I'm not in the mood. All right. So sexually attracted to your partner is going to go a long way, and love making is going to go a long way. Is the number one, because without love making, even if you have those signs and symptoms I'm going to be telling you in this video, nothing is going to happen. So love making, it's very important. Then the third point I have to share with you is make sure your partner has done some semen analysis, some sperm analysis. Make sure your partner's sperm count is in check. You get, because even if you showed up with those signs and symptoms that I'm trying to tell you, and your partner's sperm count is not in check, getting pregnant might be difficult. So these three are the first simple and easiest things for you to put at the back of your mind when trying to conceive. The first one is be around your partner. The second is love making. And the third is what is your partner's sperm count. So make sure these three things are in check. Then we'll now dive into the main point proper. The fourth one, which I want to share with you, after taking the first 3 points into consideration, is understanding your cervical mucus pattern. Yes, understanding your cervical mucus pattern. I'm going to be talking about the normal cervical mucus pattern before I talk about the PCOS cervical mucus pattern, so you have a better understanding and see how it goes. For the normal cycle, for those that have the normal 28-day cycle, regular day cycle, they usually have less wet days when compared to the dry days. They have more dry days. You know, as a lady, you're going to be experiencing dry days you check your panties, you won't see any discharge. While there are some days you check your panties, you see discharges, and sometimes you see egg yolk discharge. So for ladies with a normal cycle, they usually have less of that wet days when compared to the dry days. There are different things that are likely going to take place, that changes you're going to be seeing on your panties during that cycle, like when it comes to understanding the cervical mucus pattern. First of all, you see your period. We all know what that period is. Then after your period, you're going to experience a period of dryness. Yes, immediately after period, you experience dryness. Then after dryness, you experience that sticky discharge. You might see some sticky discharge. After the sticky discharge, you see some creamy discharge. After creamy discharge, you see egg yolk / watery. So that egg yolk / watery discharge is a sign that you are ovulating. That is for those with a normal cycle. Then after that, you get your sticky and dry discharge. So after sticky, you get dry again, then you get your period again. So that is how the normal cycle usually follows suit. But for PCOS, it is quite different. Women with PCOS, they have multiple wet and fertile cervical mucus. And this is as a result of high estrogen level. During this process, the body is trying to ovulate, but because of hormonal imbalance, the body cannot release egg. Because of the high hormonal imbalance, the body cannot ovulate. Am I making sense? So with all this, what is advisable is that when you notice this cervical mucus, when you notice this wet cervical mucus coming out, it's advisable for you to take it anytime it comes up as your fertile window and have sex. So that is why it is important for your spouse to be around. Take note of the fact that you have to check for this mucus daily. Yes, you have to check it every day. I'm not just talking about the ones, when you want to urinate, you notice discharge, or you do not. You have to wash your hands properly before doing so. Because some women, they are lucky, they just, when they want to urinate, they notice the discharges on their pants. While for some women, they have to use their hands to check for the cervical mucus down there. This is not me encouraging doubting, but this is just me encouraging you to know the cervical mucus you are releasing at a particular point in time. You have to know if it is stretchy. That's if you put it between your fingers, like, is it stretchy? If it's wet, and also if it is slippery. That is, if you wipe a tissue on your vagina, if the tissue paper is going to slip through it, that is going to give you a clue. So whenever you notice this stretchy, wet, slippery discharge from the vagina, take it as the day of your fertile cycle. Yes, take it as the time you are ovulating as a lady. Every time you experience it, try as much as possible to have sex or sexual encounter with your partner. So that is the fourth point I have to share with you. Then that takes me to the fifth point I want to share with you. The fifth point is know your cervical position. Yes. After the vagina, the next thing you get to see is the cervix. And the position of the cervix gives you a clue if you are fertile or not. Knowing your cervical position is an optional method for you to use. You can decide to use it or not. So it's not a compulsory method that you say, okay, you can use. But I'm going to be explaining because I don't want to leave any stone unturned. So let's look at how the cervix looks like when it is infertile. For an infertile cervix, the cervix is usually firm, low, closed, and dried. That is how the cervix is going to look like. Firm, it's going to look firm, it's going to be low, it's going to be closed, and it's going to be dry. But for a fertile cervix, it's going to be soft, it's going to be high, it's going to be open, and it's going to be wet. You may want to ask, how does a firm cervix looks like, and also how does a soft cervix look like? For a firm cervix, just take a look at your nose, touch your nose. So that is what a firm cervix look like. While for a soft cervix, touch your lips. That is what a soft cervix looks like. The sixth point is checking your basal body temperature, which is your temperature at complete rest. So what is advisable as a woman trying to conceive with PCOS? Knowing your temperature and charting it on this fertility chart with a pen and paper or the fertility app is going to help you properly. So what you need to do is to take your temperature orally, put the thermometer in your mouth, check your temperature every morning at a particular time of the day, especially when you wake up, and chart it down. Because usually before ovulation, the temperature is usually low. And after ovulation, when this egg is released, the temperature is on a high side. So when you experience a high temperature, that is a clue that, oh, your body must have released that egg. So combining this temperature method and also the cervical mucus method, that is going to give you a clue if you are ovulating or not. The last point I want to share with you, which is the number 7 point, is luteinizing hormone testing. You can see I didn't talk about this one at the very beginning because this is not like a sure way of knowing if you are ovulating or not. Yes, because women with PCOS, they tend to have a high amount of luteinizing hormone, and they may do several tests and see a lot of positive. And when they say a lot of positive, they are having sex, and at the end of the month, they don't get pregnant. That might end up making them being frustrated and annoyed the more. So what I advise when using this luteinizing hormone testing, get the cheaper ones. Yes, the cheaper ones that shows the line intensity, not the one that will tell you is positive or it's negative. So what you just need to do is to check how intense, how thick the line is. That is going to give you a clue. So get the cheaper one because you're going to be doing a lot of testing. Then another thing is that check when you notice a fertile cervical mucus. We all know that how this fertile cervical mucus is. They're usually egg yolk, they're slippery, they are wet, and all that. They're sticky, they're slippery, they are wet. So check when you notice this cervical fertile discharges from your vagina. Check as much as you can, and also use the temperature method and also the cervical method to give you a clue that you are ovulating, not just this ovulation test strip, because you're going to get a lot of positive and you have sex, you don't end up getting pregnant. That is going to be heartbreaking. So these are the points that I have to share with you in regards to getting pregnant with PCOS, and I hope it is beneficial. So what I advise you to do is to follow this step by step. Follow it for months, 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, 7 months, a year, and see how it goes. You might even get pregnant in the 2nd month, and the 3rd month, and the 4th month, or in the 5th month. We don't really know. But what I advise you, follow suit and see the outcome of the result. And also, what I want to say is that not everybody has money for in vitro fertilization. So if you know you can afford in vitro fertilization and other method of contraceptive, you can settle down, have a conversation with your spouse, and take these actions into consideration. And when you see results, don't forget to come in the comment sections and let us know how it went, because I've had a lot of people that have gotten pregnant with this method on my DM, and they are really excited and super glad to do it. I think it's high time for me to start telling them to come outside and share their testimonies so that people will know these methods are effective and start gaining strength from them. I'll look on it and see what I can do about it. So thank you very much for staying tuned. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to share with a friend if you got value. So what I advise you is to copy the link of this video, share on your WhatsApp status, share on your Facebook page, share in everywhere you can, so that women that are trying to conceive will take this into consideration and put this into action to see results. Thank you, and see you in our next video.